Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's up to second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to the Sunday Drive racing here, and well, it's round 3 and this time we are at Monza, the iconic circuit in Italia, and one that I'm sure is going to bring great action here this evening as well. And we're currently on the Grand Prix circuit, 11 turns, 5.793 kilometers, 3.6 miles. And what an epic evening of racing we are in for with these GT3s racing around here. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth very shortly by once more Mr. Dean Biggles. Thank you to everybody for joining us here for, well, as we call it, Sunday Drive racing on a Monday. And here is Biggles into the booth. Good morning for me, young sir. Good evening for you. How are you?
Good evening. I wish I knew Italian for that, actually, James, because I would do that. But of course, yeah, welcome along to the northeast of Italy. And welcome along to Monza, where they've been racing here, James, since, well, a little earlier than James was born, 1922. They've been racing Formula 1 cars back in 1950. GT3s, of course, well, they've been racing them for a long time. Around the Royal Park of Monza. And it took only 110 days to build this permanent track, of course, the old school one. But we all know, what's Monza? Downforce, speed, and it's the Templar speed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a really good race. The format, of course, we've got 8 minutes of qualifying and we've got a 60-minute race with a pit stop. So we're going to be looking out for these guys, going to be pitting very, very shortly. Let's bring you up, current up to date with the driver standings. It is Rob Lau at the top of the pro standings on 41 points with Eric Chu on 38. Charles Ho on 33, Tony Rodriguez on 31, Arthur Chu on 30, Jason Ludwig and James Namak tied on 28, JB Alcabar 27, Michael Gilbert in 9th on 24, and Eric Dong in 10th on 22. Over in the AMS, it is Rich Lee leading the way with Chris Namak in 2nd place, Sega Ma in 3rd, Raul Tova in 4th, Nick Show 5th, Juan Namak 6th, Alex Lee tied on 27th there together, Jake Howland on 25th, Matt O'Dore 21 points in 9th with Chris Kim in 10th there as well. Over in the teams, it is Rideshare Racing with Charles Ho and Rich Lee currently out in front on 74 points with Cajun Nafir in 4th. No, they're in 2nd, Cajun Nafir on 69. I'll have to speak to Tony about the graphics here because it's got 1432. I'm not pretty sure that doesn't work out with the way that I do maths in the UK. So in 2nd is Cajun Affair, 3rd is Leave and Late Racing, 4th is Forgot to Practice, 5th is Red Bull Racing, and then the McMurk Happy Mills in 6th, Shake the Bake in 7th, 8th is Fear in the Cage, 9th True Racing, and 10th is Something Clever Racing there as well. So yeah, I think I'll have to have a chat with Tony and figure out why that graphic is in a different order there, Biggles. Not entirely sure that's the way to go.
Test, just making sure everybody's paying attention out there, I think, James. But look at those team names, isn't they fantastic? This is a very, very creative league. Of course, here for the Sunday Night Racing League on the Monday. Yeah, I mean, just getting your foaming at the mouth, isn't it? Like hungry for some burgers. I mean, you know, forgot to practice. We all have done that before, haven't we?
Yes, we very much have as well. But don't forget, guys, as well, we are going to be going on now. We are at currently round 4 at Monza, and then we're in round 5 where we go on to Indianapolis, and round 6 we finish off at Kyalami. And if you did miss round 3 from Laguna Seca, you should go back and watch it. It was quite an amusing race, and one that I think me and Biggles were entertaining ourselves more in as well. So definitely check it out and go back and watch it on the YouTube channel. That would be absolutely amazing. But if you are here, don't forget to say hi. You can talk, and we will talk back and have a chat with you as well. So one that I think that people should be looking forward to here, as now we've had a livery change, and I'm not happy about it. Mr. Rodriguez has changed the Mercmobile. It is now green, according to the official pit sync liveries. Come away from the McDonald's red. And Juan apparently was responsible for that, Biggles, and I've asked if I could protest the fact that it's green.
You know, he went with, if you've seen the movie Coming to America, he went with the McDowell's. He didn't want to get sued by McDonald's.
Oh, yes.
So he went with the green, you see? Switched back to your 1980s comedy movies. I think it's 80s, yeah, late 80s. So yeah, McDowell's instead of McDonald's. So he did say that, James. So
Yeah.
I'm first in the chat, by the way. I got you, Phil, and I got everybody else, but Phil was actually chatting earlier on in the series that Mr. Zachary and I were doing. A replay of a replay series, because unfortunately, James, you heard about that. Of course, electrical pole went down, took out both my internets. My backup internet went down. My primary internet, of course, was down. Electric went down. I have a generator for that. That's not a problem. So, yeah, it's just bad luck. Is it twice it's happened? But anyway, we are in Monza. Overcast, James. I saw him slipping, sliding a little bit in practice. So, how much do you think grip?
Yeah,
Would you call
they
it?
were
Green the track would be essentially at this point.
There was rain earlier on, so I did see a little spot of rain falling earlier on when I jumped into the practice session at the beginning. So it doesn't look like we've currently got rain on the board, but it doesn't say that there won't necessarily be rain. So we'll keep an eye on it and hopefully see what happens here as well. But I think it's going to be an interesting one in general here because of the way that Monza's set up. It's very fast straights, then you got a few wigglies, a bit more of another straight, then you got a few wigglies, and then a bit more of another straight, and then some more wigglies. There's not really a lot to it, is there? It's only got 11 corners. How hard can it be, right?
Are you reading the notes from some of your kids there, like when they're giving a track map there? So they hand it to Dad. Dad, look, track. Straight wiggly, straight wiggly, straight wiggly. It's true, but it's absolutely true.
Like I'm lying,
of course.
That's what it is. Look, you go on board. We're on board here with Michael Gilbert, right? And obviously, there's not a lot to it. It's coming down to the Ascari at the end of the race. And we can do a lap with him, and it's just not the... There you go, a left. And a right at the Ascari, a little wiggly, as my 5-year-old little daughter would put it, bless her. And then we're off again, and then we're going into the curve of parabolic, which they recently named the Michele Alboreto curve of parabolic. Yeah. So,
but no, it's dual name, James. It's not renamed completely. It's dual name.
Oh, it's practically, it's going to be parabolic.
Whatever you.
Everybody knows it as the parabolica. So it's the parabolic in general. Let's be real. And then we're going to go down into Prima Variante and down on turn 1. But I think it's still going to be a tricky circuit maneuver because hooking up this front section of this racetrack with this tricky chicane at the end, of course. You're going down the long straight, then you've got to really bang it down, as we can see one of the Porsches over in front there, take a little bit of a different line to everybody else has probably been doing. But that's what it is, isn't it? It's very sharp long straights, very sharp stops at the end, and very tight chicanes.
Yeah, keys to Monza, James, after my years and years of casting Formula 1, of course, that was this track, is exit out of turn 2. Of course, you get your braking point perfectly at turn 1. Braking's one thing. Exit in turn 2 is going to get that. Nail that one. Second of your Lesmos is super important because you got a long straightaway there. Of course, no DRS, but you still have a long straightaway. As you're looking at it right now. Here's the second Lesmo as I was talking about it. And you can go right out into the gravel trap if you really want to explore dangers of Italia. And then you've got it nailed, don't you? The final wiggly wigglies, as you'd call it. And then that's it. Because Curva Alboreto or Parabolica, you'd like to call it, is not as bad taking different racing lines through there. So Ascari's, key to it. If you want to go basically as straight as possible through Ascari. And obviously Lady Rosemary is back out in the chat, of course.
Yes.
Rosemary Kim, hello. Come along. Supporting her man.
Yeah. And Ransom Bucket. Ransom? Yeah, Ransom Bucket as well. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us here for the 8 minutes of qualifying we've got left remaining. It is Tony Rodriguez on the top of the screen currently at the moment, where Charles Ho is in second. So it's good that Tony has gone out and done a time. 1:49.080 currently, 1:49.790 for Charles Ho. So Charles has got a bit of work to do here, as we can see there as well. Eric Dong is also improving in Nicolas Cage.
Somebody has, feel okay. Somebody smashed those braking marker points there too. The styrofoam that I'm seeing over the track.
Yeah, I think there was a Porsche, wasn't it, taking a diver earlier on.
But on top of this one, I think Charles might have the Tifosi on his side there, James, because he is in the Ferrari, and well, he's in the land of the Ferrari. So every single corner he'd be going through at the moment, you're going to hear the cheer from the Italian fans, and probably a boo to Tony, because he's in a Mercedes right in the heartland of Ferrari. But then Eric Dong's just slapped the Audi up there and said, oh, have this one. So
yeah, he's just got into second. Jake Hallinan got a little bit of an improvement going on as well. So it'd be interesting to see what Jake can do. So in the Audi as well, did improve last time out. Arthur Chu is another one that's got 3 temps up on where he was last time, and this is coming into the Parabolica now. But Eric Chu is also improving, so we'll watch Arthur go across the line, see how he got. It's on 1:59.25, but by my calculations, he should be on a 1:55. That goes across the line, hugs the right-hand side, of course, wants to come in. It does 1:50.5 there as well, so well done to Arthur Chu. Michael Gilbert, of course, improving in currently as he's coming round Curva Parabolica. If you're wondering where we are on the racetrack, if you look under the right-hand side of that logo that's on the top right-hand corner there, it tells you what part of the racetrack you are on as well. So you will know where the cars are and what part of the racetrack they are on. And going into Prima Variante down into turn 1 here as well. So an excellent feature. That will basically tell you where they are as well. Ransom, hi gentlemen, excited to watch this race. Yeah, I reckon it should be a pretty good one here, to be fair, this evening as well, or this morning, or this afternoon, or wherever you are currently in the world, because it is a different time zone doing them this early for me, I've got to be honest.
what if you're orbiting planet space station or something like that? What would you be calling that time zone at this point? But anyway, I didn't know that feature there, James. You see turn 11, Curva Parabolica. Very good to know that one, James. Only 11 corners here in the Temple of Speed, so, you know, take a guess between 1 and 11. Yeah, pretty good odds of getting it right. Just don't take a guess at Nordschleife, isn't it? 174 of those to try to get right.
Well, that's the thing. I was watching. There's so many different variations of that circuit. The official website says there's 33 left corners and 44 right corners. Now, that only puts it at 73, plus the 16 from the stadium. So 73, 83, should be about 89 corners. But then somebody's record lap they were watching in an SR8 the other day, they counted, the people I was reading off, counting over 100 corners. So if the official website's only got it at 73, then I think everybody's been majestically
Are you
wrong.
including both?
Well,
obviously the combination, because it was the combination, right?
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
But even
because you got Nuremberg and Nordschleife together, so you'd have to increase that a little bit. But then again, you know, it depends what you caught in corners, isn't it? You go to the Red Bull ring, you got that little kink in the road. They don't count. They do count as a corner on the first sector, but then there's another little kink that don't count as a corner. So it just depends on how you like it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It depending on which way they are going to go. Rob Lau's here, nearly a second up on his time. We're currently on a 1:51.757, going up to the Curva Parabolica to see how he gets on as well. I think that's the thing. I think everybody classes corners as differently. You know, we know Americans have some quite funky ways of numbering their tracks. Look at Road America.
A and B, right?
Yeah, and Road Atlanta's got an A and B chicane. Road America's got a turn 2, which is literally, well, like this. It's not even a corner, but you know, I think that's the thing with Nords. It depends on what the classification is. Rob Lau didn't really improve 1:56.82 there. Not an ideal line. Eric Chu has gone on to pole on a 1:48.947. Rodriguez is not improving. Rich Lee is improving a little bit as it goes down into 8th at the moment. Rich is on his way down into the Parabolica in that Ferrari as well. He's 0.3 up at the moment.
Ferrari. You're in Italia. You got to say it properly.
Well, you can say it properly like that then, and you know, really extra-nounce your R's.
I'm going to buy a pineapple on the pizza and give it to you and watch the whole crowd mob you, mate, because the Italians don't like pineapple on their pizza.
Oh, yeah, but I don't mind pineapple on my pizza. So Ronan's asked, do you guys have a favourite F1 team or driver, Biggles?
Well, you know mine. As an Australian, I have to always go for the Australians.
Okay,
so,
go on then.
Oscar, of course.
Oscar Piastri?
Of course.
Okay, and is that your favourite team, the McLaren, as well? Because, you know, they haven't really got a car this year.
Yeah, teams-wise, throughout the years, my friend, I switch teams often. Like, I don't just support the team as winning.
No.
I just support more the driver. Like Mark Webber, I supported over the years, you know, and I was like, Mark, why'd you go on this car? But hey, I'm sticking with you, bro, all the way. It's just the way it went. So that's it. So I go the team. I go the driver rather than the team.
Yeah, well, my favourite driver is Perez, because I do like Perez, and have always supported Checo Perez as well. Now, that might be the driver. The team-wise, I've always got a soft spot for Williams, partly because obviously back in the Nigel Mansell days, he was in Williams and, you know, and Senna and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, not ideal. He died in a Williams.
It's same here too, James. You know, I was growing up as a kid, playing with Lego, like make little Williams cars out of Lego and drum her on a track. So what about yours out there too, there, Ranson? I want to know yours. Quickly. Go ahead, James.
So it would be Checo Perez and probably the Williams team. It is a bit gut-wrenching seeing them down where they are currently, I'm not going to lie. Eric Chu's going to come across. He's literally the same time currently at the moment. The only one we've got improving is JB Alcobar down in 12th on a 155.47 overall. He's currently about 4 tenths up on where he should be as well. Don't forget, guys, if you do want to get yourselves the ACC DRIVE livery that drivers get, the DRIVE program, all referral links are down in the description below as well. So a big shout out to them for letting us use this software that you can see on your screen currently as well, giving you all the updates of times and gaps and who is improving and who isn't. Raul Tova is another man that is improving down in 19th. He's about half a second up at the moment as he's coming round the second Lesmo and then off up to the Variante Ascari. Half a second, the only real improvement currently at the moment. But that would be mine. Checo Perez and a Williams. Biggles is Piastri and a little bit on the McLaren. You can tell we're old. You know what I mean?
I could go back to the old school days, isn't it? Go to Tyrrell's and all that sort of jazz too.
Benetton and
still has.
Benetton's and the old Lotus and Eddie Jordan, the Jordan team.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that brought Michael Schumacher to the spotlight. So, but yes, exactly. And don't forget so please subscribe, of course, because James has to live up to his promise. We reached 1K way before James heads over to España on the 22nd of May, and I hope you get your food cast ready there, James, because that's the promise, of course.
It is, definitely. Qualifying has come to the end. So we are coming at the end of qualifying. Everybody is coming across the line and finishing off. Michael Gilbert will be as well as he goes into the second Lesmo. And then off on the run up to Ascari here on this evening's race. I'm really looking forward to one. I'm hoping it doesn't all go wrong down into turn one. I've got to be honest, because the last thing you want to be seeing is everybody bunning into turn one, and then it all just goes a little bit Pete Tong. But
James, mate, basically, I started commentating when I couldn't do my theatre and all that sort of jazz that I used to do. So in lockdowns during COVID, and ended up casting a lot of F1. And you know how many times I've seen all going Pete Tong in turn one?
Exactly.
Before in the past, mate.
Oh, man.
It's so difficult. It's a short run down there, and everybody's just getting up to maximum speed, trying to spot the braking point. And, of course, there's, how many 20 or so cars trying to go into that turn. Everybody's braking at different points, cold tires, butterflies, heart rate through the roof. Yeah, it's inevitable that something's going to happen.
Yeah, it is here as well, but there we go. Eric Chu does top the grid with Tony Rodriguez, Eric Dong, Rich Lee, Charles Ho, Jason Ludwig, Arthur Chu, Sego Ma, Alex Shen, and then JB Alcabar, Jake Hanlon, Michael Gilbert, Rob Lau, Alex Lee, Chris Namak, Matt O'Dore, Juwan Namak, Raul Tova, James Namak, Jaime Mendoza, and Christopher Kim down, unfortunately, at the bottom there for Chris. Not ideal, but there we go.
Maybe if there's a massive pile-up of the turn one, that might not be too bad there, James.
Yeah, Chris Kim might come out on top there. Would be ideal,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
Rancid said out there, Lewis Hamilton, of course. Well, why not, man? Multiple world champion. Lewis is still quick, of course, and obviously he's going for the Mercedes team as well, too. Well, if you're going for a Mercedes in this one, Tony Rodriguez is going to be lining up on the front row. So see if you could do something about Eric Chow and their Beamer on the front row.
That's going to be exciting. Eric Chu, Tony Rodriguez, Eric Dong, Rich Lee, Charles Ho, Jason Ludwig, Arthur Chu. Well, I think it's going to be something that is going to be interesting. I want to be going to be looking forward to this. See how these guys get on and how they cope here with Monza. Who do you reckon is going to win, Biggles?
You always did that too.
Yep.
Could go with an outside shot. I'm going for the Ferraris. I'm going for Charles, P5, the 143 machine.
Okay.
Yep. I believe with the fan base of the Tifosi, with the Ferrari, and I potentially foresee maybe incidents up the road. If those other gladiators get up the road, my friend, or Centaurians that have here in Italy, that's it. You know, they're gone.
I'm going to go.
Can we come together? What do you reckon, Joe?
I'm going to go with Eric Dong.
All right. Going for the Audi? 69 machine?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Eric Dong and see how that works.
You know why you're doing that, James? Because you said it's all going to go Pete Tong, but not with Eric Dong.
Maybe. Let's hope.
It's looking slippery. It's raining, James. It's raining. Now that's going to spice things up even more. Forecast is showing light rain, give or take. Probably maybe a bit heavier there for 10 or so minutes. Now, we know that these drivers, you said before the practice session, they dealt with a little bit of the light drizzle. We had a qualifying session, semi-dry green track. Now, they're going to have to deal with these circumstances. Cold tires, cold brakes into turn one. I would not go anywhere, James. You talking about get your popcorn ready, mate? I get 2 bags of popcorn ready for this one.
Yeah, we've got an hour's race, as we say. What is it we say? Get your popcorn ready, grab your drinks, and be seated, because it is going to be absolutely incredible here for this hour. And one that I think is going to be a classic, but I also think as well, there could be a few incidents here. I've just got a funny feeling.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it in the wet weather conditions, James. These are some of the best drivers in the world, of course, no doubt about that one. But hey, Formula One drivers can't do this, so good luck to anybody else in sim racing.
Oh, look at that. You are not going to want to be anybody bar Eric Chu. I can tell you that much. Because if you
Well, he's got to be careful, remember, he's off the
Chu,
racing line. It's a short run, so if Tony gets a jump on him, Tony will have a nice way to slice through turn 1 and turn 2. Remember that. So Eric got to try to defend. It's going to be all about the restart here, James.
Yeah.
Cannot bog it down.
The interesting thing is where they're situated at the moment, they're just outside the Parabolica as well, which...
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was thinking about them doing the start-finish line there, but...
No, they're outside the
that means even
Parabolica.
more speed, doesn't it?
Well, I'm surprised that they're not doing a full... They normally do a full pace lap here. Looks like we've only got a little bit of a quarter one. So, it's going to be whether or not they're going to be going straight off here once more. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, generally, obviously, in Formula One, you'd have to be doing a rolling start if it's pouring rain like this. You get at least the drivers an opportunity to get temperature in their tires.
Ooh.
Some of the drivers have their lights on, some of the drivers don't have their lights on. You can see them, but, you know, when you're on board a car, of course, and you get all that spray, yeah, I'd hope your windscreen wipers are working here. It's not an open-wheel cockpit.
No, I would not, as I say, want to be anybody further back than pole man, because you don't want people to spray up in your face. nothing worse than that. So, but here we go. Well, Eric Chu did.
Look at that instantly, isn't it? How everybody's just trying to get it up into gear.
Eric Chu didn't actually go anywhere. He's now got backing everybody up here. Is Eric Chu?
Imagine people at heart rate.
Look at the people
on these drivers right now. This is going to be insane. This is going to be a big smile on some of the drivers' faces, or a big disappointment for others. But remember, long race too, so you can't win a race in the first lap. To finish first, you first have to finish, they all say. James, green.
We are underway, and it is Eric Chu currently out in front in that BMW. Tony Rodriguez beside him as well. Eric Dong behind that in third place. How is this going to work going down into turn one? I tell you what, you're going to be wanting to be sat there worrying about how you're going to get that stopped, because there's going to be some incidents and accidents. There's a little bit of contact further back with Alex Shen, Sego Ma, Chris Namak, Jake Hallinan as well, as they all bundle into turn one before they go running off and now around the rest of the circuit. But it is currently Eric Chu out in front, Tony Rodriguez second, Eric Dong third. They've obviously had contact at some point, but then they have settled into where they are. Currently everybody through where they should be, Biggles, here right at this beginning.
I'm impressed. I think everybody was a lot more gingerly in this one, realizing, yeah, there it is. There's an incident a little bit further back there, James, around P7, P8, P9, P10, as they take it into regatta. So, yep, we kind of expected some of that to happen, but nothing that the top leaders have to worry about at this point.
Jaime Mendoza, unfortunately, taking a little bit of a trip off the side of the circuit there. And have a quick look at what Jaime's been up to. I think he just goes a little bit too far on his own here. And then spins the back end. But then again, there is a big bunch of cars in front of him. Jaime goes round too much on the gas. And there he goes, unfortunately, for Jaime Mendoza. Not ideal. And then brings it back on. Back on track, so great job from Jaime there, but it is still Eric Chu out in front, Tony Rodriguez second, and Eric Dong. Too much beans, I think he gave it that time around, as we would necessarily call it, because it looked like he just put it on too fast on his own.
You and your beans, James. Yes, it's you call it. Top three had that gap there. Eric in P4, about 1.3 seconds and change, with a whole collabel of cars behind him. Tony sets the fastest lap, and Tony could be looking for a bit of a run here soon too, James.
Yeah, he's tucked him right behind him. I think it would be crazy if he makes it down into turn one. I don't think he's going to get it done this time around, though. Never say never, of course. Maybe he's waiting for Eric Chu to make a mistake, but let's have a look inside what Tony is seeing. As soon as Eric comes across him, vision goes minimal here in the rain in Italy. And that spray, that's what I mean, you wouldn't really want to be at the start of a race when you've got 20 cars in front of you. You really wouldn't.
You can't see the car too, look.
You can't see nothing.
Can't see anything, brake lights. You could just see as they slow down into the corners, of course, in turn 4 and turn 5. And then you got the Lesmos here, where you got one more high speed. And where can you just see your braking points there too? Remember, you're looking sometimes for your braking marker boards on the side here. Let's have a look. You see the right box. So there's your braking marker. You can see it. It's not too bad. But remember, he's only got one car to road spray.
Yeah,
how about get 5 or 6, and that's a whole different ballgame. So he goes off the racing line a little bit, so he can kind of get a vision there, James.
I think that's what I would be doing as well. Looking to the side to see how much room, what have I got, what's got coming up. Because obviously we can see generally more than what they're seeing coming in the car as well. You know, although we're sitting looking in the cockpit, generally it's a little bit worse than it was than what we're seeing in the car, if you see what I mean on that one. It does get a little bit close. Michael Gilbert is also another man changing it down. Chris Namak as well. Oh, gets a little bit squirmy coming out of the Scarlet. Then on it goes on that run up into Parabolica as well. RG Fuller, welcome in. That's while driving in the rain. It is Brian McHenry. Hope that 12th place guy doesn't wipe out the entire field. Well, at that time, it was I believe it was Michael Gilbert. You see him pull out to try and see here. The closer he gets, he just cannot see anything as they go into the Parabolica. I think rain brings a different dimension to racing here, doesn't it, Biggles? Because it makes them think. It makes them really got to try and train what they've got to do. You know, they've got to be a little bit more careful than they normally would be.
Ooh, a little bit of mistake into turn 1 there from our race leader. It'll bring Mr. Rodriguez into play there too, James, because once again, he has to spot the braking marker before everybody else because he's essentially the race leader. But yeah, you're absolutely right. One thing, of course, we all do miss in iRacing is the lack of no rain. So you got to add that extra element into it because it also means the drivers have to practice it. They have to rehearse it. They have to get some experience in these conditions. Just adds basically more hours that you need to be putting in the racing sim. Yeah. And there it is, James. That is definitely a run for the lead of the race. They get something done. Look who's lurking in the background there, Mr. Dong. And Mr. Dong looking pretty damn quick there too in the cage machine.
Yeah, so this is, he can see even less than Tony. Don't forget he's got 2 card sprays coming up here. He's got Eric Chu's going over Tony's, and he's got Tony's coming in his face just for good measure as well. So he's very minimalistic on what he can actually see. He's about half a second back from Rodriguez at the moment, who's about 6 taps back as well. James Namak is another man who has got Rob Lau behind him currently at the moment. So Rob fighting, there's a car off on the right hand side there. That was Alex Lee. We're back on the green. Rob Lau trying to go around the outside here. I don't know how this one's going to work, whether or not these guys are going to be able to get it together. Can Rob sweep around the outside of Juan Namak? Not this time, but Rob in that Porsche is looking a little bit tasty and a bit quick here as well, but he is back up front with Tony Rodriguez, who is currently here with Eric Chu. They're going to be side by side down into turn 1, going across the line. Are they going to be able to make this brew? Can Tony get that front end of that Merc?
No, he's going to tuck in. He's going to tuck in behind and maybe force a mistake in the turn 1 from Chu, and then get a good exit out of 2. Remember, I said crucial key points in this track is exit out of 2 and exit out of the second Lesmo. Big key. And then, of course, definitely nail Ascari, and you're good to go for another lap around Monza.
He didn't get a good run out there, no, mate. Unfortunately, he dropped about 6 steps back currently at the moment. But Rob Lau is looking with Juan down into turn 1. Not this time either for Rob Lau. He again has got to be looking out the run up into turn 2, which is, of course, into the second variante here. He's tucked in right behind you at the moment, though.
Curva Grande. Yes, exactly. You can see all those drivers, man. This is fantastic. Good driving so far. Everybody's pointing in the right direction, James. That's exactly like to see these tricky conditions.
Yeah, I think that's the going to be the interesting thing, I think, for anybody that basically will go out on track, as these guys are going to be side by side once more here. No, Tony slots in once again. He's showing...
Tony's baiting him.
Yeah.
Baiting him into mistakes. Because Chow is making a little mistakes every once in a while, feeling the pressure. Hopefully not mirror driving, James.
Yeah, but well, he probably is, to be fair. He's got Tony Rodriguez tucked up right behind him as well. You know, if Tony is playing with him, you know, which it looks like he is. Rob he has cleared Juan Namak. So Rob Lau is now up into 16th. Alex Lee has gone off, unfortunately, again. He's gone, I think, on this one. There he is. Rob.
Is it gone Pete Tom?
It's all gone Pete Tom for Alex Lee.
There you go. Another lap around Monza.
He didn't do that out of Scary, did he? Did he actually do it?
You get out of Scary, mate. You're on the fence, generally.
Yeah. Oh,
General.
he did, look.
No, that's second Lesmo, I think, isn't it? Looks like it.
Yeah. Looked like the second exit of the left.
Yep. That's always a tricky spot for most drivers. Yeah, I've baked it a few times there, mate.
Oh, mate, literally, I'd be surprised if somebody comes out of this and says, oh yeah, I managed to get round. Well, I've never binned it in the second Lesmo. I've binned it in there as well. James and Juan are fighting away here. James in the Audi, Juan in the Merc, Rob Lau in the Porsche further up, of course. Don't forget there is obviously Pro-Ams. Contact between the Namaks. Now, we've had these conversations before with these with the Namaks on track and how Christmas dinner would be if they ended up taking each other out last season, wasn't it? The end of last season.
It would be a fun conversation, isn't it, if we would spy on their Christmas party that we listened about Hey, do you remember what happened back in Italy in May? Yeah, but you remember what happened in June and this track and what happened in March and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But they have got through there. James is through. Tony's
you know what I give him, James, for Christmas presents? Band-Aids. Patch up.
See, the thing is with that, you could end up giving him some tissue and just say, stop crying. Get out with it.
There you go. See, I tried with the Band-Aids and nailed the tissues.
No, you got to give him the tissues. Eric Chu out in front by about a second at the moment. Michael Gilbert in 11th is battling away here. He's got Chris Namak in front of him. Michael Gilbert's looking up the inside of the Parabolica. He takes a very narrow entry, which I'm surprised he has done. He's not run it out wider.
Oh, Charles Leclerc?
Yeah, he did
Wide?
get him in very narrow.
But that's the thing, Parabolica, mate. You can take it different ways. It's kind of a very flexible corner. Now, you'll scrub a lot of speed, of course, in the exit, but it's not as bad as, obviously, if you get turn 1 wrong. Scary wrong.
If you get turn 1 wrong, you are in trouble. Jake Hanlon not making any inroads on Arthur Chu either. There seems to be that it's a very long run down the straight coming out of the Parabolica, but nobody can really make the move into it, or nobody's thought about making the move into it, because it just seems by the time they get too close, they either can't see anything, or the fact that they just are not brave enough to try and make that move. You can see Jake Hanlon pulling out to try and see where he's going. He's got to pick the marker just by about the 100 board here before he goes left there as well. Arthur Chu makes a bit of a mistake. He goes in a lot of the deeper than normal. Hanlon's going to get the run out now. Is he going to be able to nail the first left row, of course? He's got to duck it in. There's a dip on the inside there that he can get a hold of. And then he's going to go out once more on the brakes round about 75, trying to get again in the dip. He wasn't in the dip, and that unfortunately jeopardised his exit. There was almost like a little crevice that they go down, that you can actually run it in, and it helps with the rotation of the car. And unfortunately for him, he didn't quite get it through this time around. But Michael Gilbert is another man up behind Chris Namak here as well. But it's so difficult. If you make one mistake, or if you drop back and don't nail a corner, you are going to be under pressure here as well. And Michael's got a bit of a run on Chris here, going down into the Parabolica. Is he going to be able to make it through? He's looking at running that outside line around the outside. Try the switchback, sir, because I don't think that's going to work. You've got to try and bring it in behind him now and get that run down that start-finish straight, Biggles.
Yeah, I'm going to see how they're going to get that little drag. He's going to have to tuck in. And fortunately, of course, these GDs don't have the old DRS activation. They give 17 kilometers an hour. But he's going to give it a go. He's on the racing line, remember? The inside line can also be very strong. Here we go, James. You got your popcorn? I do.
Oh, Michael Gilbert backed out there. Chris has gone back in front again. Didn't make it through. Behind that, Arthur Chu and Jake Hanlon were as they were as well. They didn't make it through either. And Tony Rodriguez dropped back about 1.3 at the moment over Eric Chu. But it is here with Michael Gilbert chasing down Mr. Chris Namak there as well. Go Chris, says RG in chat. Chris,
well, he's going.
Yeah, he's definitely
as
going.
fast as he possibly can, if you can see anything.
Really
yeah, it's difficult following the car too, James, remember, because you're going to have to... You'll basically have to brake a little bit early, because you got to rely on that driver up the road there. You're not 100% sure where they're braking in these wet conditions. Once again, how much rehearsal have they put into the weather racing? So what they're going to do is gingerly kind of stop a little bit earlier than what they probably would do on a dry racing condition. So therefore, it'll minimize the chances of them overtaking opportunities.
Okay, here's a question for you. All right, one I've just sat and thought about while I'm sat over in a minute. If we took one of these guys, doesn't matter who, because they're all driving in the rain, they're all doing a stellar job keeping the car on track, right? And then we take them to iRacing and give them the rain in iRacing that obviously we're expecting at some point 2024. Would they instantly be faster? Oh, Gilbert's bullied up the inside. He's gone off. There's contact. He's gone round. Gilbert on the entry to the Parabolica went tight, and unfortunately, it's caused him to drop all the way down the order now into 14th. He's got to get the
slip
car.
it.
Yeah, he's got to get the
They
car.
can't slip it a pit road too, otherwise he has to cross everybody else.
He just went in
So,
too hot here.
Yeah. You're right, James, but going back to the iRacing, here's a replay. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, you're right.
Look
That's
at
way
that
too hot, isn't it?
Gee, man. God, he went in deeper than an Olympic diver on that one, didn't he?
I'm surprised he turned. Also, action up there between Rodriguez and Eric is going to take that place there.
Yeah, Eric Dong looks like he has just taken the place away from Tony in the Audi. He will get him. And Eric Dong is through over Tony Rodriguez. But I'm guessing where they are on the racetrack, I'm guessing that took place down into turn 1.
No, I believe maybe 4 and 5, James. See. Yeah, I think it was 4 and 5 actually.
Track.
Yeah. Yep. And those bollards are nasty, mate. You run over them, you're going to have to see a chiropractor. And there it is. Rodriguez has gone off again, James.
Tony
not handling that car right now.
He's not having a good time, it's Tony Rodriguez. Just gone off, he's dropping down 3.1 from Eric Dong.
Maybe you have to switch back to that red livery, mate, instead of the green one there. So maybe the McDowell's not working like the McDonald's would did.
I did tell him I don't like it. So there we go. No, Gilbert, says Sandy. Well, that didn't go well. We call that move a Ross Chastain. Where he went up the inside of him, Brian? Yeah, I think we could. Did Chastain run it around the wall, though, if I'm not mistaken? Michael Gilbert didn't quite. Yeah, Gilbert didn't quite go down through the wall, but he did have a go in Parabolica where he went in a little bit hot there as well. Unfortunately, struck himself down to 14th in front of Matt O'Dore. Arthur Chu is on the run down into turn 1. Is he going to be able to make this move past Chris? He's going to be too far back. And if he sends it from there, well, send it by FedEx, son, because you are quite far back there as well. And Rob Lount chasing it down Matt O'Dore here as well. So action down at the back end of the field, partly because obviously the likes of Michael Gilbert's in the mix when Michael was battling up further up the order and unfortunately had contact. So yeah, for Michael Gilbert, not ideal, but he is where he is, partly due to the fact that he had contact with Chris Namak. So Gilbert and Namak having it coming together.
Daniel Ricciardo, my friend, licked the stamp and sent a few times around here. A very good driver around Italy. Of course, he's Italian family descendants.
Gilbert over the sausage curves in the variante there. Put himself under heaps of pressure from Rob Lau, from Matt O'Dore, sorry. Matt sweeps around the outside of Michael Gilbert. And unfortunately for Michael, he's going down faster than me eating at McDonald's, I've got to be honest. Oh, don't talk about food already, James. Blimey. I could end up doing what I did last time, actually. In the last round, I went to McDonald's to go McDonald's breakfast. So there we go, once we finished. But here we go, Rob Lau, Michael Gilbert and Matt O'Dore all involved in this with James Namak tucking back as well as we're on the heli. Michael Gilbert, you are all out of shape here, son. I'll tell you that much. You want to be breathing, taking a minute, because you are not ideal.
This could get spicy. If they get good exits out of Parabolica, mate, we could see 3 into turn 1.
Look, James is coming as well.
Now, I've not seen 3 into turn 1 successfully before in Italy, but anything is possible. I didn't think it was possible for 2 cars to go side by side through the castle section in Baku, but I did see that a couple of months ago, James. So once again, anything's possible, but here we go.
Rob Lau on the outside, Michael Gilbert on the inside. Namak's coming up beside him as well. He's going to be trying to go up the inside of Lau. Is Lau going to leave him room? They're coming in now. Oh, Gilbert again!
Yeah, that proves my case that it's not possible to do that.
Yeah, Michael Gilbert. There's another one going through as well. I think Juan Namak has just got on. Yeah, it is Juan. He's just literally. He did Sebastian Vettel the barriers. He just, unfortunately, he did drive round him, so fair play to him. But Michael Gilbert, if anybody's near Michael at the moment, whisper in his ear to settle down a little bit here, because that expert driving he had so much at the beginning has just gone all a little bit wrong. He's taking every shortcut he could possibly find on this track at the moment. not ideal from Michael Gilbert, I've got to be honest, as Rob Lau does finally get the move done and sweeps around the outside. He going in to the Lesmos here as well, but I think Michael Gilbert needs to take a little bit of a chill pill. With 40 minutes remaining, the pit window will open up in about 40 seconds. For 20 minutes they will have to go in and make their pit stop as well, and that is signified on the left hand side by the orange one. When they've made a pit stop, it will go green and it will tell us who is and who hasn't. But for Michael Gilbert at the moment, dropping down the order, is now down into 16th here. Not ideal for him, but I'm sure he'll try and battle back. He needs to kind of settle down a bit, Biggles. He don't want to be driving angry, does he?
Well, I mean, it must be like a Ranson out there in the chatter course earlier is probably going, closing his eyes into that turn one, thinking of, his fan is Lewis Hamilton and Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen course going halo on a halo action. Well, if you can have the pit windows open. And yeah, I'd be closing my eyes in the turn one too, so drivers. Yeah, this car's a little bit more beefier per se, so they're not going to off into the gravel trap and retire the session like a Formula 1 car, but great racing. You're going to get that bumping, so you have to argy-bargy your way around a little bit. How much argy-bargy you want to do? Once again, yeah, maybe you need to fan and turn the air conditioning up in the car a little bit if you're too heated.
Well, it's raining, just stick your head out the window. No, I mean, give yourself a
it's like, what, are we in the United Kingdom or something there, James? What's going on?
Hey, no, we had sun the other day. Yeah, actually, yesterday we had sun. I don't know what the weather was going to be like this morning.
Really? I thought the sun was a myth in the UK.
Mate, it's a myth, but you only see it once or twice a year if you're lucky. So, our summer holidays, they turn around and go 6 weeks long, but I can guarantee it's more like about 6 hours by the time the sun comes out and disappears again. So as well, Gilbert's cutting those corners, says Burkett, and McHenry as well. He thinks he's at a bumper car track. I'm sure Michael Gilbert doesn't think that, but he is, unfortunately, when Michael got a little bit flustered there when he made that mistake and then dropped down the order, it's hard because he's driving under pretense that he's going to be losing more and more positions. It's almost like when you first start your driving career, you think, I've got to get the car back on track, I need to maintain my positions, and I think that's where Michael Gilbert was driving under. But unfortunately, he just made a mistake after mistake after mistake, and ended up losing 2 positions even further and going down into 16th. But Arthur is here. He's got Chris Namak in front of him currently at the moment. There is Sega Mark in the pits. Chris is on our right-hand side currently.
Segas just came out of the pit road as well too and had to yield those positions to James, to a couple of drivers that were on flying into turn one. They might have compromised a little bit of scrub speed out the pit road. Find out soon. Those drivers will be entering pit road.
There, Chu and Namak. Namak makes the move, goes in to turn one, but he has got Jake Hanlon for company as well in the Audi. And it is just Juan Namak who's made his pit stop early on. 17 minutes remaining of the pit window here. And let's see how they get on. It is Eric Chu, Eric Dong, Tony Rodriguez, Charles Ho, Rich Lee and Jason Ludwig are your top 6 currently at the moment. But it is down here in this battle. Would you go in early, do you think, Biggles, at the pits?
I always got to go back to you if you're an engineer or whatever. Like I used to engineer drivers in Formula 1, I would be looking at the information there, crunching some numbers and try to give them some space. Don't want to come out in traffic big time, especially in a wet race with the spray.
Well, currently at the moment, if they go in now, a rough prediction would be, let's say they're on their run down into Ascari. If they were to go in, they would come out in clean air. The predicted would be they would come out.
It might be worthwhile, but this is also the thing too, James. It's drying the track. Now, I'm not a massive knowledge of ACC as much as what I do with the F1 and other racing sims. So, did they start on an intermediate kind of tire, or is it just a similar dry tire?
I think it's just full wet, isn't it? They don't have.
Because now, if it's drying up, you want to extend that pit stop to switch straight over to dries?
Yeah, but you're going to be fighting for it, aren't you? There's no dry line appearing currently. You can see it there.
But the rain's stopping. The rain stopped, so, these cars around, remember, 11 corners and 10 speed, mate. You can form a dry line pretty quickly, and we still have 36 minutes to go. could be a great gamble for somebody to take that opportunity. Not we've seen it before, don't we?
Still rain on Chu's screen in between the window wiper wipe.
That's just the leftover rain. It's not raining down anymore. That's just the spray that's on the track.
I still don't think they will. I think they'll go and stay as they are currently. Sega, Mark, Rob Lau and Jordan Hammer are all currently pitted. They all seem to be fighting for puddles on the racetrack.
Well, yeah, because you want to overheat your tyres, do you?
I don't think I'd be taking dries.
If you've got
though.
wet tyres, you have to. But then that's what we're saying. Like, how long can you extend your pit lane window to switch over drive? Maybe the drivers are thinking about that right now, James, because weather forecast once again is now kicking back into possible rain again. So that is maybe what they're looking at. See how that friendly weatherman can give them the right information on it. Just like a real race, isn't it, James, in the real world situation? Rain is so unpredictable. The weather is very unpredictable. And it's good that the Sims actually do mimic that kind of situation.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be chancing putting dries on. Sorry.
If you were in Plum Blast, James, you'd have to go for something like that, wouldn't you?
Hey,
What have you got to lose?
crazy move, I think.
They do it in racing. You've seen it before, haven't you? In Formula 1 and other things. You really give it a shot.
Alex is going to squeeze JB there. JB on the left-hand side now. Alex Shen on the inside. Shen in that pink and black. Porsche going down into Prima Variante. Where he goes now. JB not making it through this time. The gap was close, as is Rail Toba. And Jake Hanlon again. Oh, Toba's got it.
Oh.
You're not stopping that.
Nah, cannot stop that. No way. I was going to say at that point.
Dude, if that was any chance of you stopping that, you had zero, unfortunately.
It's probably best to go just straight on through, isn't it? And take a slowdown penalty.
Yeah, through the...
Do they have slowdown penalties to get ACC? I don't know. Otherwise, you'd be taking a penalty.
The JB Alcobar and Alex Shem once more still close together. Oh, JB's looking racy. Oh, contact. Coming out the second, Lesmo. And on the run up to Ascari now. Here we go.
Blue flag's been waving too, James, for your best friend, blue flag.
Yeah, don't even go there. That's Joel Namak in front anyway, that's under blue flags.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm saying. But could he come into contestant? Could he come into play here, essentially, for this battle that's brewing behind?
No, I think he'll be a little bit more sensible and move out the way. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, otherwise James is going to go absolutely ballistic on the air here. Welcome along, of course, the JPBroadcasting Sunday Night Racing Round 4 here in the temple of speed. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We are growing as a fantastic racing community here, James, and this brew racing is growing into this turn one opportunity. No, it tucks in.
Yeah, he's going to still look at making a move as he's coming down now. He's got the inside line. The inside's been left open here for JB. Didn't dive it this time. No.
I'm more worried about, as you said, like the blue flag driver at the road too, because if you just send it in there, like you don't quite know what's going to happen when the blue flag driver does have to move over or not. You know, how does that come into play? Right now, whoop, as they're going to be approaching into turns 4 and 5 soon. So that's going to be very interesting because there's still a little bit away where the driver has to yield. See, they're going to have to follow him through here. So there's 4 and 5.
Yeah,
there it is. So off the racing line.
Yeah.
Says, good luck. Go for it, boys.
Yeah, John Nammett there sensibly moving out the way from JB. I don't know where...
I wouldn't take it into the first Lesmo. No way. And don't even go for it the second Lesmo. You want to tuck in behind and get the best exits of exits here.
No, he did. He went for the move into the second one, trying to get the run up. Yeah, he tried to get the run up into Ascari.
And now you have to tuck in because there's no way you go side by side through Ascari.
No, not without ending up coming up for this
straight line. It's not much of an angle really. If you do look at it, if you nail it perfectly, it's only about 6 or 7 degrees, I think, left and right. But this is it. you can get a DRS overtake here if you're in Formula 1, but you're not going to get these GT cars. And then right now, you want to see how you're going to take the curve up parabolic up in different ways. He's going to copy the racing line, looks like, James.
Yeah, he's going to run it out wide here. I am wondering whether or not Shen is looking at making the move.
Boxing. Boxing.
JB goes through. Eric Don's in the pits as well. So now it's just about what JB can do. Whether or not he can use his pace that clearly he's had throughout this race to basically now start opening up a gap where he can get out in front of Shen there. He doesn't really want to come back out behind him if he can help it. He needs to kind of jump it as best as he possibly can. Shen, Namek and Dong all in the pits on the left-hand side there. He's got to try.
I wonder if it's to get I wonder if we get a gamble on the dry times. I think it's still too early at this point. But you see, the spray only in certain parts of the corners. It seems to me the spray is also only in the exits. It's hard to tell, obviously, when you're looking at a driver that doesn't have a car up the road, but you saw that before when you've seen the battle change. I saw if the spray's on the exits and you're pointing the car straight, that's not too bad, just as long as you're a little less greedy on the loud pedal. I've seen dry lines forming. James.
He's still got his window on, so clearly he's seeing something we're not currently. Because I can't see it.
You forgot to turn it off. What does everybody think in the chat right now? What would you do as a racing drivers? Of course, as your friends, family, and everybody else that you're supporting here this evening. Maybe even engineers are in the chat there. Please let us know, because I'm definitely, James, on helicopter cam and the cameras that I'm looking around the track, as well as you got on the screen there. There's some dry lines forming. Now, there's supposed to be a forecast of rain lurking again in another 10 minutes, but once again, how much of that rain is going to be effective or not?
I don't know. Rich Lee's in. Jason Ludwig is in as well. Rich Lee in the Ferrari. What's JB going to do? He's gone round once more. He's going to gain 2 more positions. Here's JB. Up into 4th he goes now. Dong's got out. Shen is back out as well. So it's going to be where JB, if he goes in now, car 220, sitting in 4th place. He should. No, it's not. I think he's going to be mixing it up with Jason Ludwig and Raul Tova here. He should get out in front of Alex Shen though, currently at the moment as well. But for JB, he's got to be trying to make that move. Moving on up, Chris Lammert, good job. He is. Chris is currently there in 15th. He did take his, obviously, his pit stop as well. Love the helicam and the driver point of view. Thank you so much for that. Eric Don's just got past everybody.
Yeah, he thanked me. I was the one that spent hours in helicopter school.
Really?
To bring you those.
Really?
Hey, James.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
Fair one.
No, that was Zach earlier. We sent Zach to helicopter school.
Yeah, send the younger ones, mate.
Yeah, because, they crash and,
Yeah.
Let's see. We're not going to talk about that. That's just mean. I feel mean about that one. I'm seeing a dry line, James. I'm seeing a dry line on that helicopter cam. If you can switch it over to it a little bit, maybe you can see that dry line forming.
I just...
Look, see it?
Yeah, I can see it in the middle. But that is, if you're coming out on dries, right, that is going to be some precise driving and you've got to nail that line.
You got to risk it for the biscuit, my friend. It's called a motor race. And there it is. So the beam is in. P2 and P3 are in as well too, James. So they're taking their pit stops.
I'm wondering if JB's
Tony Rodriguez leading the race.
I'm wondering if JB's running longer to see if he can handle this dry tyre line.
The problem is the rain is forecasted to in 3 to 10 minutes. So it's such a gamble.
He's sideways, getting straightened up there, son.
This is where you earn your paycheck, obviously, as a race engineer.
Yeah, I don't know. You can see the line visually in front of us, but I still wouldn't be risking it.
We're going to find out, aren't we? Because we had P2 and P3 in. Now, all stop-go penalty. Ouch. for the number 8 machine.
Eric Chu speeding in the pit lane.
Eric Chu. Yep. Yeah, rain's coming down hard. Now, rain's coming back down there, James. So if anybody did elect to choose the Biggles maybe go dry tyres, you're in big trouble now.
I think JB hung on there to see what was happening. Because I think he would have looked at the fact of what was going to happen. And if it's coming back down again, it's just going to be a like for like here. Regardless of the line was improving or whatever.
No, it's right. It's physically see the rain coming down. So that little dry line that we had there for 3-5 minutes, that's going to be there.
Tony's in, JB's in second. Michael Gilbert behind. He's coming up into Vani Antiascari. Tony is in. What's JB going to do this time around? He's only got about 4 minutes left of the window. He's in as well. I'm expecting Michael Gilbert to come in, and Jake Carolyn and Alex Lee. Lee's in the pits.
I think they waited, James. I think they were waiting to see if that rain was going to stretch a little bit, if it's going to lurk or not, and then there's confirmation that, hey...
Choose off. Choose off.
And he has a stop-go too. That's going to punish him big time. 30-second stop-go penalty.
Yeah. Was the leader of the race, of course, Eric Chu, before the pit stop cycle. You're going to curb it, aren't you? Yep. Top it off there for Eric Chu. Not ideal. But he is in.
Now,
Tony's in. Dong.
How's he going to pad it out? Yeah, everybody has to take their pit stops now-ish because it's 3 minutes, just under 4 minutes shy of the last time you can take it. Otherwise, you'll be a DQ.
Michael Gilbert's in as well. Now, as predicted here, who's out in front? Eric Dong.
All gone Eric Dong?
Yeah, it's all gone Eric Dong's way. It's all gone. It ain't gone Pete Tong for Eric Dong, I can tell you that much. Hey, that's not bad poetry for 1 minute past 6 in the morning here. And
well, you'd expect that, right? Because Shakespeare comes from the UK, so...
Exactly. He learnt that off me. Do you know that, right?
Well, you're old enough, so I'm not surprised.
I'm nasty.
Phil across the... Hey, Zach was picking on Phil across the pond earlier, mate. We do miss Phil's probably resting right now as well, too, but... Zach was talking about all his years that he's been through, and I was like, oh, you need to talk to Phil about that, my friend. I think Phil's the only one that's going to actually top us in age.
Yeah. But the interesting thing, I do love Zach, because Zach and Phil have been having this little banter backwards and forwards for the last few weeks. Phil comes into the Tuesdays. Don't forget, we have got another broadcast later on today, depending where you are in the world, of course, or tomorrow if you're in the US. And Phil comes into there, and they have this little bit of banter backwards and forwards. So, oh, Michael Gilbert again. Dude.
Mikey, no!
No, Mikey, no. He must be under a warning by now for track limits, surely. He's gone off.
He's still battling.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's still battling, but he ain't keeping it on track, unfortunately, for Michael Gilbert. In that McLaren.
Come on, Mike. It's only 11 corners. It's easier up in the casting box.
He's got to do a few straights and a couple of wigglies. So come on, son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even I can manage that one.
I remember, and James, you might have to just let everybody know, of course, back in that charity event you did, a couple of months ago,
yep.
And you actually grabbed a couple of the children in the casting booth. They did a pretty damn good job, didn't they? I'll talk about wiggly corners and all sorts of jazz like that when they were casting. Of course, it was all great for charity. You raised
it's coming back again.
Thousands of dollars. How much did you raise that charity?
We raised $1,500 last time out. And we're going again on June the 11th for 6 hours of Watkins Glen.
Nice.
So,
of course. Yeah. See, JP Broadcasting has everything, mate.
Yeah, we're going once again raising money for the Rainbow Trust, who assist families with terminally ill children. So we'll be doing that one.
I love it.
Again on June the 11th here. We will have more children in the booth. In the booth as well, so the kids will be back once more.
The future children that'll be replacing us, mate, when we're in retirement homes, like Zach and all the other fantastic casters that you have here, younger casters here in the JP Broadcasting Network. And just about shy of a minute left in pit lane. Has everyone taken the pit stops?
Everybody's gone
Yes,
in.
they have.
Eric Chew's just cleared James Nammock here. Of course, Eric trying to battle his way back through the order. The leader before the pit stops. Not only did he get a penalty, he also spun the car as well. And unfortunately put himself down in 11th, Chew. So Eric Chew still under attack from James Nammock. He gets a slow run out. Now it's going to try and sweep around the outside. That grass closes in very quickly, mind you, James. I'm not going to lie here. Be careful there, son. He's looking up the inside once more. He's going to go hard on the brakes here. Coming into the second variante. And he has come back on Eric Chew as well. James Nammock giving Eric Chew a little bit of trouble, as is going to be Matt O'Dore now as well. Up the straight they go. Coming into the first Lesmo. Is O'Dore going to have the inside line? Oh, he is. Unfortunately for Eric Chew's son, Matt O'Dore and James Nammock have just bullied you out of your pocket money, out of your trainers, and they've hung them on the local washing line, sir, because you are now down in 13th place and not doing too well down there for Eric Chew.
I got a giggle from Callum the other day because, of course, if you heard James before, I was telling him about leaving the door open and getting burgled, and he had a giggle about that. I was like, this is James's line. I'm just repeating it. And now, leaving the closeout on hanging on the line, mate. That's another one you're going to get here at JP Broadcasting Network. All the puns, all the fun. Not so much for some of the drivers.
Car's a bit more spread out now at the moment. 1.3 rail Tova, Matt O'Dore, Eric Chew. Chew has just done the fastest lap of the race, but unfortunately during that period of time he lost 2 places, so, and that ain't going to help. Not going to lie, into turn 11. So
I still believe Charles is going to win this race, sorry. Ferrari. I can hear the screams of the fans.
Mate, he's got a long
Every
way
time
to
he
go,
goes
mind
around
you.
the
He's got
corner.
9 seconds back. I think you're
Stop,
hopeful.
mate. It's Ferrari power. He gets like at least 2/10 boost from the fans every time he goes through a corner.
I'd like to point out as well, my pick is in the lead at the moment, Eric Dong. I wrote it down as well just to make sure I got it right. So you didn't think I was pulling your leg when I said that Eric Dong's in the lead and he's going to win.
That's not the piece of paper you gave me here. I'm looking at it right now.
Well, it's got
You had a
your
big question
Charles Ho
mark
on
next to it.
No, give over. I'm getting pretty good on my picks, to be honest.
No, it actually says, Biggles, can you get me a Big Mac and large fries, please? 'Cause I'm hungry. That's what it says. Everybody in the chat. Save me. And yeah, everybody in the chat, of course, give us some information, like who is your favorite driver? Who do you think is going to win the race as well, too? You've got a choice of... How many drivers do we have there, James?
22.
Yeah, so your odds are 1 out of 22.
Okay, I'm not sure what's happening with Nick's show, but every time I jump on Nick there, the game starts glitching around all over the place. So we're not trying... we'll stay off Nick's show for a minute.
Nick's putting a show on.
He's having
That is a bit strange.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a funky moment here. Not going to lie. It's fine with other people, but when I go on to Nick, it just doesn't like it. So we'll stay off Nick for a minute. Yeah, so we don't get a stuttered picture book program.
You can see the
Yeah, it's like flicking a picture book that you used to
This
write
is
when you were a
not
kid.
your... How are you? This is,
I'm wondering what's going on here, Biggles, because you're going now like sounding like you're in a robot, and you're cutting out every now and then. So Eric,
yeah, I'm in Nick's car doing that.
so we're going a little bit wrong here.
It might be you, James. I'm sounding pretty good here. I got green across the board.
Yeah, all right. Picking on us poor UK people.
British internet.
I think you may be right, but we'll have to see. As I instantly...
Get your backup internet going, mate. As long as the poll doesn't take it down, it should be good to go. It's all good. 16 minutes left of this race. So your man leading the race in the Audi in 69 machine. Got the Merc there of Tony. Obviously keeping Ranson out there, a Mercedes fan. In P2, and of course, the man that I predicted to win this race in the Ferrari there, Charles, hovering in P3.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, Biggles, I think it's not going to be your day. I think it is going to be all Eric Dong. And what he's going to be able to do here as well.
Underestimate the power of Monza.
Mate, unless Eric Dong has some drastic actions here, mate, I think you could be in a little bit of trouble.
Well, they have traffic. They are lapping some cars. You never know what's going to happen. Someone has a bit of a spinneroo moment up the road there. Pushing. I'm stretching, aren't I?
Oh, yes. You are stretching like an absolute trooper, mate. Yeah, Brian, I can see it's got a little bit glitchy. As I said, it was only when I was on Nick's show that it was really playing havoc here. So I'm trying to stay off Nick at the moment. But it is, as you can see, Tony Rodriguez in the background here. It's also glitching out there as well, and a few others.
James, it's a raid. It's bucketing down now. It's absolutely bucketing down. It's so much more heavy than what it was at the start of the race. So this is very, very tricky for the drivers. 15 minutes to go now to try to manage and maintain the speed and pace that they want to do to try to gain positions. On top of it, try to keep the track out of the barriers, out of the fence. In this crucial part of the race. Of course, you know, you start getting a little tired, your arms get a little sore, your feet have been pushed on his pedals.
Choose off.
Load.
Choose off again.
See, just like that, I'm saying this is where it's getting crunch time.
What did he do this time? He's coming into... Oh, he's on the grass.
Oh, that's not a place you want to be in a wet track.
On the grass, on a straight. Coming into Kerber Parabol on a straight.
But the rear end slipped out, mate, because he probably just turned the steering wheel a tad. And the rear's gone loosey-goosey.
Oh, it definitely did. And unfortunately for Eric Dong, he's now in the pit. Not Eric Dong, Eric Chu is now in the pits. He's gone from hero to zero. He was in first and he's now down in 18th place. So Eric Chu there, not ideal start. Michael Gilbert once more.
Just don't give him a glass of water after the race. He doesn't want to see any water for the next week.
Contact between Juan Namak as well. Juan's on the side of the circuit, so is Chris Kim. These guys having contact together. Unfortunately for them. But Tony Rodriguez has got 1.5 back.
Right. Man, they're sharp out there. Good on you, Brian. James, we can just go grab some popcorn, sit back, and let the fantastic viewers out there kind of commentate the race for us out there.
13 minutes though. Last time for Eric Dong 157.9. Last time for Tony 157.0. Tony pulled out 9/10 over 1 lap over Eric Dong.
He made a little mistake because remember it's getting very, very wet. So perhaps even Eric's playing it safe and just back it off a little bit, realizing, mate, if I hook it too much in a corner, I'm just going to lose that position anyway. So I might as well just bring Tony into play a little bit. It's either that or Tony's feeling a little bit more comfortable. And no, James. Charles has binned it around.
Don's going, Don's gone. Don's up. He was sideways around the parabolica. That's going to bring Rodriguez in.
Yeah, both drivers just like that.
Yeah.
Rodriguez takes the lead. Dong's made a mistake as well as Charles did.
Yeah, Ho's got miles. He was off for Charles Ho.
This is what I'm saying, James. It ain't over yet. Because the rain is so heavy, they're aquaplaning. This is going to kind of remind you of Germany back in the day, didn't it? When it bucketed down and turned into a multi-million-dollar car park in the Turn 1 for Formula 1. So here we go.
Yeah.
A little less expensive, of course, in these cars, but this is tricky. You've got to push, but you can't push that much.
No, and if anybody went even remotely thought about going on to drives, they're going to be in deep, deep trouble here. Because now it is coming down like an absolute tornado. Chris Kim is in the pits as well.
Was real, wouldn't it?
Alex Lee's gone off again. Dong's now got a second to Tony. Is this going to be Rodriguez?
He's got to keep within Tony, but I wouldn't push it too much. In fact, maybe actually help. No, Dong's struggling. I was going to say the only thing you could kind of do is just see where is Tony's pace? Why is Tony so quick in these wet conditions and trying to follow his racing line? But at this point, seem like anybody could follow Tony's just flicked it up a gear and say, you know, I'm the wet weather master. Like, who used to be the wet weather master? Michael Schumacher. Look at that.
Yeah. Jenson Button was another one,
keep it on the track.
Button was another one for Staffen in its current day.
Yeah, you're correct. Some drivers are just mastermind the wet weathers, and some other drivers, as we all know before, that we saw, can't just, I mean, you grew up in the UK, you should be good at wet weather racing, but we're here in the Americas. In Australia, mate, I don't know how we can even handle wet weather races. I mean, we don't see rain for like 90% of the year.
Are we therefore then saying if rain does come to any other simulator that we broadcast on, watch out for the Australians, because they would have had no experience at all in the rain?
Exactly.
Right, okay. Where the UK guys will be shining through, the Australians, not so much. So if you play iRacing,
actually, I'm surprised that they actually do okay-ish. Well, of course, you know, the thing is when you get into your racing leagues, Australians get out of Australia and travel overseas because all the popular leagues are in Europe. So and they get used to the rain. But in Australia, they don't practice with it when they're like 8-year-old kid.
Well, how are you going to practice in the rain? Is somebody going to take you down to what we call a skid pan over here, which is basically a piece of tarmac that has sprinklers on and just squirts water everywhere? Yeah, Michael Gilbert is moved up into 8th there, Brian. I can see. Push, Chris Kim. Well, Chris has gone under the radar this evening, and he's now down here in 19th currently at the moment. Obviously, a big shout out to Chris and Sandy, recently engaged.
Oh, and who's going around? Jake.
And Charles. Charles and Jake Hanlon.
Oh, Charles, not again?
Yeah.
You're doing so good. This Ferrari just could not handle these extreme wet conditions right now, my friend.
Yep, Charles Ho spinning more times than Kyler Minogue there, unfortunately for him. Jake Hanlon has also been taking trips off the grass, unfortunately for Jake. Not ideal. People struggling here at the end of the race. Eric Dong, 4.4 seconds back now from Tony Rodriguez. My pick has gone out the window. That's it, Biggles. All done and dusted.
I think all our picks have gone out the window because Mr. Rodriguez has just notched up another gear, hasn't he? He's like, okay, bring on the rain, my friend.
Yeah.
I think he forgot to tell us that he's a 5-time Olympic swimming champion.
Yeah, everybody else is not doing so well, but Tony's managed keeping it on track, which is great. So
he just overtook a blue flag driver around the outside of Parabolica to start another lap at full speed, James. So I think he's feeling damn confident in that Merc in these conditions.
I still prefer the Merc in red.
It's red on my screen, James, but you got the correct green. The
Liveries.
Livery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the Tifosi colours apparently, with the red, the white, and the green. I'm not entirely sure. I think it should have been back as it was before. And it was due.
But you pick it on Tony. I think Tony's going to be in a minute, basically, hopefully, for Tony, in about 8 minutes' time, telling you, James, well, look, this is the reason why I've gone green, because I'm going to win the race.
Maybe. But I'm just, I don't know. I'm not happy. And it was Duan Namek that apparently made the green livery as well. So Duan's got it on his own car here. So apparently he was the one that made the green livery. So, yeah, not ideal, but you know, we'll let them off. It is their car, it's not mine. But go red next time, please.
Speaking of the other Ferrari there, the double nine machine there, that's a different class. Remember, we have multiple classes, so you'd have to give it.
Yeah, Rich Lee is the leading AMS currently. He's leading the championship as well.
But quite a lot too, as Chris has had a moment in the Honda.
Chris is
taking out a couple of ballads.
Yeah. Runs into turn 1. Arthur Chu here is catching Jake Hanlon. So coming into the last 6 minutes on a last lap for Eric Dong, 2 minutes. Last lap for Tony, 1:58.3. So they're only going to get about 3 laps left here.
Tony's just annihilating this.
Oh, mate, he's flying.
I don't know. Did he foresee it was going to be rain and just completely adjust his car accordingly? Well, of course, we'll ask him.
Jaime Mendoza does not look comfortable against that wall, I've got to be honest, in that Aston Martin there. Chu still chasing down Hanlon on this run down into turn 1. It is now going to be not a lot of nothing they can see. Well, you can actually physically see. They can't see anything. Hanlon getting all out of shape coming into turn 1 there. Into the Prima Varianti going round now on the run round to the second. You can see how much you can see now, Biggles. It's literally 0.
I mean, you said how much you can see. I can't see anything, James. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm seeing a windscreen wiper. Hopefully trying to wipe off that. And now, obviously,
got to be looking.
Not even breaking point at this point. Like, where you can spot it, there's 100, there's 50. And now, yeah, see, way earlier braking, James. Realizing, well, you know, I'm off track if I don't try, of course, to stop the car a little earlier.
Rodriguez has gone off. Rodriguez has gone off. Oh, he went round.
He has lost it.
Yeah, Eric Dong's going to come through now. He's off. Leader's off. Unfortunately for Tony Rodriguez.
Has he pushed it too much, James? He had a comfortable lead-ish.
Mate, he had nearly 5.5, 6 seconds. There was no need to be doing that.
Oh, no. Maybe James's wish is going to come, his prediction's going to come true there, because Eric's back in the lead of this race there for the 6.9 Audi. But then again, 4 minutes and change. We know Tony Rodriguez has pace, but that's a tall order now, isn't it? Under 4 seconds.
He's pulled out 2 seconds a lap, so should we say, right? Sego Mara's unfortunately rolling down the grass there as well. Not ideal, but Sego Mara having a bit of a rough one. JB did manage to stay in front of Alex Shen currently at the moment as well, so JB 1.8 seconds back here in 5th place. There goes Rich Lee there as well. Eric Dong's back out in front. Rodriguez on here we go. Look, put it in perspective. Rodriguez's last lap time is a 2:09.205. Dong's was a 2 minutes due to obviously Rodriguez going off. Rob Lau is just recovering back through as well after an incident that he's just had, and unfortunately there as well. But it's getting a little bit sloppy towards the end of the race. 3.5 minutes remaining now. Gilbert's still in 8th. No, mate.
I mean, look, there's more water on the track than there's tarmac.
You can't see anything.
Complaining everywhere.
It's like torrentials. You just cannot see nothing.
Yeah, this is a Drive to Survive series right now. Just bring the car home at this point. Like, point it in one direction, hope it sticks, and see if you can see the checkered flag in under 4 minutes time, because it's just, you got to give it to these gladiators, Centurions out there, mate. Like, this is so difficult. You're seeing the best drivers in this series making mistakes, practically everybody making a mistake. So at this point, you got to lift a little bit and just hope you can get there.
Yeah, you just got to get it home. Get it home. You don't want to be doing anything silly. You don't want to be doing anything silly at all. Eric Dong is out in front. Oh, he's no! Wow!
He's pushing it too much. He has a 4 second gap. He's even gaining time.
Well, it's 2 seconds now. 1.8.
Be careful.
1.5 is still in with it.
Why are they pushing so much, James? You could almost just drop it down a couple of gears and just settle. But now, Mr. Rodriguez is back in town. We're going to have a
JB's off.
Absolute thriller for a finale.
JB's off as well. Rodriguez is back chasing Dong again. Second gap now. They're on the second to last lap. They've got this one and one more. Now, can Tony get this? Can Arthur Chu get 14th place? Can Sego Mar catch up as well? Anything seems to be possible at the moment.
Well, it's more of keeping the car on track is the biggest thing. I wouldn't worry about battling the other cars. I'd just be battling Monza in these conditions that would be generally red flagged any real racing scenario. But guess what? It's esports, guys. Your life is not on the line. Only your pride, and Tony's going to push like mad now. That's the thing, too, because Eric don't have that 4 second or so gap, but making that mistake, Mr. Tony Rodriguez now has just brought a whole new life into him. He's driving. He's going, I can see you now. And he's not going to want to give up. He's going to push it for everything he can to retake that P1 position. And obviously, Mr. Dong is going to have to try to do something to hold him off.
Well, it's not coming down. If anything, it's going out here. Dong's opened up 1.8 again. But there is a back marker in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, just about to overtake him now.
Tony needs his back marker to stay where he is as well. He does do excellent job from him.
Yeah, but I think it's all Tony could do is really to put pressure on, isn't it? Mr. Dong and force Mr. Dong into a mistake.
Well, we can't see if he
Tony...
makes a mistake because we can't see him currently. But there we go.
Yeah. True. He's got a good exit out of, there it is, Ascari, that's what I was talking about. Getting a nice run down the back straight and into Parabolica for maybe, not the last time, it'll be another one. He's really close, James. He's going to have to try to do something at the moment. This could be an absolute cracker of a finish, or both of these drivers could end up into the fence.
Oh, Dong's got him wide. He's gone wide. He's out of control. Yep. Here goes Rodriguez now. Final lap of the race. They come across the line side by side. And it is going to be Tony Rodriguez taking it. Eric Dong's going to try and hang him out the outside. Going into turn one, I would not recommend this. I've got to be honest here, Eric. I don't know what's going to tell me that this could go wrong for you, sir.
No, they're going to go. He's got to go for it. Both of the drivers are going to go for it right now, James. It is game on.
Oh.
There is no lifting. There's no coasting. It is pedal to the metal for both these drivers. They both want the race win. It's been a struggle of a race win. It's been changeable conditions. It's bucketing down here in Monza. Monza's always one you want to have in your trophy cabinet, and I guarantee you, one of these drivers are going to win, or both of them are out.
Here we go. Can Tony hold it? Eric Dong's gone in deep. I think that's going to be it. That's going to be it. 1.3 back. He's too far back, Biggles. Now he's not going to be able to make it.
Don't be surprised, man. These conditions, Tony can cook it into a corner, remember?
Oh.
They have done it. I mean, we'd expect them to back off, but they're not backing off, James. You can mess up the second Lesmo easy, and if he doesn't approach Ascari correctly, Tony could be under massive pressure from Eric for a photo finish.
Yeah, let's see how this one works out for Tony Rodriguez. Is he going to get over this line? Is he going to be able to make it through cleanly now? 2 corners to go. He's got this one and one more.
I think he's nailed Ascari. I think he gets exit here.
Oh,
yeah,
Dong didn't.
No, Dong's pushed it, but why not? He's got a 7-second gap down the road, so...
Don't risk it for the biscuit, innit? This early on.
Yeah.
This late
it's
on,
Tony's
I should say. Yeah. Tony Rodriguez has just got to make the Parabolica come over the line here for victory at a very rain-soaked Monza here in the Sunday Drive Racing League. And it is going to be Tony Rodriguez will take the checkered flag with Eric Dong in second. Arthur Chu, Nick Show went off as well. Arthur Chu has moved up past Jake Hanlon. Great job from Arthur there as well. Charles Ho is another man who's battling away with Nick Shen coming into the Parabolica now for the final time.
Well, it's going to be tough. I think you're too far back to set the dive bomb here, but give it a shot there, Charlesy. You're in a Ferrari.
No, he's not. Oh, is he going to look at trying it up? You can see Shen's tightened up the inside line. Hug the wall on the way out, sir. Don't let him through.
Oh, it could be.
Oh, he's pushing him.
It's close, James.
Oh,
didn't quite enough.
Yeah, Shen does get it. I think that contact towards the end managed to save him there. There's a few more out on track currently at the moment as well. But it was Tony Rodriguez's race. Just how bad was it? Wow. You can see the conditions. It was absolutely horrendous out there at the moment. Wow. What an interesting end there, Biggles, to a very, well, how can we put it? Rain-soaked Monza, I think, would be the terminology.
Sorry, James. Can you repeat the question?
I said it was a rain-soaked Monza and one that was very changeable as it went on here.
Yeah, I was hoping that because we went wet, dry for a little bit. As I said, it'd be awesome if the rain was to kind of like slick a little bit later there and give the opportunity for some of the drivers to go the dry tires, and that would have been spicing things up a little bit more. But then it bucketed down towards the end and caught almost every driver having mistakes. But why not? I mean, you know, there's a thing called 4 points of contact on the tarmac, my friend, and unfortunately when there's a whole bunch of water between the car and track, there's not much you can do.
And there you go, there are the standings there. Tony Rodriguez is your winner. Eric Dong in second. Jason Ludwig took a third place. Rich Lee in the fourth. JB Alcabar fifth. Alex Shen is in sixth. Charles Ho seventh. Michael Gilbert eighth. Chris Namak ninth. Rael Tova in 10th, Matt O'Dore 11th, James Namak 12th, Nick Show 13th, Arthur Chu 14th, Jake Hanlon 15th, Sego Mars 16th, Rob Lau down in 17th there. And then we've got, of course, behind Rob Lau, we've got Alex Lee and Christopher Kim, Juan Namak and Jaime Mendoza. Santos never took the start of the race there, but what an interesting end here as well to this event. From the Sunday Drive Racing with Tony Rodriguez, who we will have a chat to very, very shortly as I move him up. What a
roller coaster too. How many ups and downs for the race lady? But yeah, let's go and listen to these drivers.
Yeah, and also, should we have a chat to, where are you? There we go. I want to chat to you as well. Drop you in here as well, but I'm going to start off this conversation this evening with one Mr. Michael Gilbert. Good evening, Mr. Gilbert. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Well, I think we need to chat.
About which part of the race? The first half or the second half?
Well,
the first half didn't go well.
No, there was a lot of diverts, wasn't there? You know, you made a mistake, and then it kind of looked like you went into a sheer bit of panic mode there, Michael.
That would be fair to call it that, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was just a sloppy race in the beginning. Got too used to qualifying on the dry and did not adjust well in the beginning of the race with the spray. Didn't practice enough.
Yeah, but you managed to get back up to 8th, which isn't a bad showing all in all, though, was it really?
Not terrible, yeah. Could have been a lot better if I didn't make those mistakes in the beginning, but happy with where I finished.
Yeah, one mistake I can understand, but there was quite a few there, wasn't there, really?
Yeah, there were. Yeah, the first half of the race was not my proudest stint.
No, definitely testing the track limits, Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, yeah, I was. I used all three of my my cut allowances.
Yeah, I bet you did as well there. So I bet it was warnings flashing up all over the place. Going forward to Indianapolis, though, you know, have you been out on the track yet? Are you going to be getting out on the track?
Definitely more than I did for this race. I didn't practice enough for this one, and it showed.
Yeah, well,
so
look,
yeah,
let's just put it behind us. Move on.
Exactly.
I promise we didn't.
Memory.
Yeah, we didn't catch everything. At all.
If you caught half of them, there was a lot of them.
Yeah, well, we did catch a good few there, so I'm not going to lie. So, but look, overall, Michael, well done to get yourself back into 8th place. Good job that you come in and laugh about it. Now, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
To you guys for broadcasting all these races, putting in all the hard work, and making it something that everyone can go back and watch. It's really fun to go back and watch the next day and see what highlights you guys caught for both us and everyone else.
Well, yeah, I could make a highlight reel out of yours, Mr. Gilbert. I'm not going to lie. Catch up with you soon.
I'd pay money for that.
Yeah, I bet you will, mate. I'll catch up with you soon, buddy, but well done for your 8th place. And onwards and upwards to Indianapolis.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
And you, man. Take care. Right, now let's bring in the overall winner of this race. Mr. Rodriguez was looking a little bit ropey towards the end. Made a mistake, sir, didn't you? A very uncharacteristic mistake.
I made a boo-boo.
You did. You did.
Yeah, I hit the paint coming into the second chicane, and the car spun, and there wasn't anything I could do about it. It was just along for the ride.
At that point, did you think you were going to get Eric, though?
I didn't. I thought that was the end of the race well, that was P2 for me, right? So, but yeah, I mean, Eric made a mistake in the Ascari, and I was within at least 3 seconds, and I capitalized on it. And I think my car had a little bit better pace in the flooded weather.
Yes,
so,
it was definitely flooded, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Toward the end of the race, the track conditions were changing so quickly that I think all of us were struggling.
Yeah, well, even the in-game weather calls it flooded as well. So you definitely know you're in trouble when the actual in-game weather says it's flooded.
Yeah, we're going down the straightaway, and the car is kind of hydroplaning side to side. So was not fun.
No, I can guarantee it probably wasn't there, but well done, sir. Not bad as well. On to Indianapolis we go in 2 weeks' time.
Yes, sir.
Are you looking forward to that one?
I should be okay there.
Okay. And can you get hold of Juon and please tell him, put it back to red.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that would make me very, very happy. But cheers for joining me in the box, Tony. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Yumna for watching along, thank you. And to Juwan, my teammate, for changing my livery back to red for next race.
Yes, please. Thank you, Juon, as well. Do you know, I haven't seen her in chat, actually.
Yeah, she's at a friend's house, but she, she'll be watching. She just can't comment.
Oh, sad times.
Yeah, yeah.
But very well done, Tony. Congratulations on your
Thank
win,
you.
sir. We'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you to you guys for the broadcast. We'll be watching later.
Yeah, you'll definitely enjoy it, mate.
Excellent.
Take care, bud. Well, there you go, Biggles. What an ending to this race here. Blooded racetrack. That's what ACC calls it. What do we think?
Well, James, you never argue with rain clouds. They'll storm out on you.
Nice. Good ending there, sir. Not going to lie.
I've dropped the microphone. That's it. I'm out.
Well, stop talking. But there we go, guys. That has brought us to the end of the broadcast. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined us here as well. Sandy, Brian, RG, Ransom. Much love to you for filling up and keeping the chat alive here as well. And to Rosemary as well. Thank you so much for joining us. But that is it, guys. That brings us to the end of this broadcast. I'm off to go and get some McDonald's breakfast at 6:30 in the morning. But for now, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.